got our podcast, thinking you should watch it. If you driving, man, it's good for you to listen. No, we keep it real. No, we spit it raw. Sports dialogue. No, it's good if I'm involved. No, we're not the news. We just cool dude with nobody to impress. Just talking our shit. Call it pressman coverage. Pressman coverage.
Welcome into Pressman Coverage, a podcast dedicated to you, the fan. Today we are talking about our bald king and his first addressing of his people, Robert Saleh. Cody, how you feeling today, man?
I know his last show you gave Randy my captain tag.
You know what? Let me stop. My bad.
Thank you.
And before we do anything, let me introduce the crew. Captain Cody Moore. Talk to the people, baby. My bad.
Man.
You're the only captain on this ship.
It feels so good to have electricity once again pumping through this house.
Man.
I lost power for a couple of days. And I'll be completely honest with you. I had complete oblivious, no idea the damages that the winter could give me. My parents are older, right? And they grew up like in the Great Depression. They grew up in all these different times. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they lived with candlelight. I don't understand.
No generators.
I don't understand how they did these things, because the couple of days, I mean, it was truly tough. And the fact that there's, hundreds of thousands of people out there that are going through this for like 4 to 5 days blows my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of y'all. I know it sucks. But NES sounds like they're working their tails off, and so hopefully they get you your power back here pretty soon.
Yeah, man. Our hearts go out to anybody who's still being affected. Both Cody and I dealt with power outages, going to different places, just trying to figure out life, man. So as we started off the last episode, we're still continuing and fighting together. Man, just continue to pray, be kind to one another, give people grace, including our NES workers. I know it's not easy to give people grace when your power's out and it affects your work schedule, which affects your money and affects your family. I know there's a lot of it, but personally knowing a few NES workers, they're working just as hard as you are, and they're just as stressed as you are, because many of them are out working on the same neighborhoods that they live in that don't have power. So again, thank you guys, man, for continuing to rock together. This is what makes Nashville great. And Nashville got a little bit brighter, in my opinion, with the addition of Robert Saleh. The first thing I do need to say is Randy's not here today. Every Thursday between the hours of 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., that's when he gets his new paint done to his hair. So whether it's his beard, filling in some of the sides, whatever it may be, that's why he's not here. His artist, as he calls, he didn't have a barber as an artist. He's going to kill me when he comes back. He is working on getting that finished up. So that's why Randy isn't here. Please shoot him a message. Let him know you're thinking about him. His artist is doing it in the dark. So he may have like a black streak raining down his face or something like that. They don't have power in the artist's shop. So it is what it is.
We tried to tell him, like, bald is in. Like, Robert Saleh's bald. Brian Dayball's bald. Aaron Cottonwood, not Cottonwood. What's his name? White Cotton, he's bald. There's some other dude in here's bald. Paul Kuharski's bald. Bald is in. You don't need the paint job. You don't need it.
Don't need it, man. He just won't
It's okay.
listen.
Just
We're
be
trying
who
to
you
save
are,
him
Randy.
money, embarrassment, but it is what it is. That's just who he is, and we love him for it. We love him for it. So we have a head coach who came in and spoke to us for the first time today. I was kind of waiting patiently for this to happen, just because I get it. They're going to get up there. Head coach is going to have a lot of coach speak, but I do actually believe hearing somebody talk, you can really kind of hear what they're about. And you can get a general vibe. I'm just one of those believers, man. Cody, listening to Coach Saleh speak for the first time, what were your thoughts on him?
I love him. You know how I like my coaches. I like them tough. I want an identity. And this guy he's going to give us an identity. We are going to be tough. We're going to play fast. We're going to be physical. I think his term is all gas, no brakes.
Yes, sir.
That's some Jacob Fatu type stuff. If any WWE fans out there, no more of this Mr. Nice Guy stuff. This is part of the we're getting rid of the players who want to help grandma across the street. We're getting players in here that are going to split grandma's cheeks wide open. And that is the player, that's the coach I want. What was his team identity and style of play? Fast and violent, play in and play out. We're going to play with speed. We'll play with confidence. We're going to have some swag and talk a little shit while we're doing it. Who does that fit? Like the two best players on your team? Cam Ward, Jeffrey Simmons? Like, I'm bought in, bro. This is the type of personality that this team needs. It's the type of personality that this city needs.
Yeah.
And dude, when hearing him talk, man, I love it.
Man, and you know also what I love, man? He's a man of commitment. And you know how I know that? He's got 8 kids. He's pumping them out, dog. He's got no vision to stop. He's catching Phillip Rivers by any means. I want a coach who's willing to die on that hill and die on that back is what he's doing. But look, I have the same feeling as you when it comes to it. And I know we haven't had the chance to hear Brian Daboll speak to us directly and so forth. But when I look at clips of him, even clips of Aaron Whitecotton as well, they're two fiery dudes, man. Like, I just love that it's a staff full of guys. Again, energy is one of the most infectious and contagious things that happens throughout a team, whether you're in the game, in the offseason, whatever that is. I know you mentioned it last time you were on, how when we went to a practice, it was crickets out there, man. And I just don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be a loud, rambunctious group, but they're also going to be focused on getting things done the right way. And the level of accountability that comes when you've got a guy who's full of energy, he hypes up some of the positives just as much as he, will get on to you about the negatives. He's just as loud about both things. That's something I can appreciate. And having 10, 15 players there, that says a lot to me. It really does.
Dude, I just love the fact, and this is just like a me thing, I love the fact that he just looks so uncomfortable in a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Like, you could just tell, like, the last thing he wants to be is in a suit and tie in a press conference talking.
Yeah.
He wants action.
Yeah.
He wants to be about that action.
That's exactly it, man. And, I'm excited about just the feel of it. I love that both your leader on offense and defense are there in the building, and they have leaders to match each of their personalities on their side of the ball. I'm just excited for what's coming, and to dig into a little bit about what Robert Saleh's done since being hired. I think he's assembled a pretty cool staff. Obviously, it started with Brian Daboll. We did a full episode on him. We won't dive too deep into it, but an exciting hire for your quarterback who needs stability and somebody who's been there and somebody who knows what it looks like. He's been around championships, both at the professional and college level, and I love that. He brought in Shea Tierney to be the quarterback's coach. Shea started at NC State as a grad assistant. With the Eagles as a football analyst and coaching intern in 2013. He actually was at Alabama 2016 and 2017 as an offensive assistant. Quarterback's coach with the Buffalo Bills in 2020 through 2021. Was with the Giants for the rest of that time as a quarterback's coach and offensive pass game coordinator with Brian Daboll. So somebody who can come in and help teach Daboll's system, help spend time directly with Cam. And what I like about it is, Cody, I don't know if you've experienced this because I know you were at the top of the top, but and I'm going to say this, I was not in the slow class, but there were classes where there were 2 teachers in there. And what I liked about it is there would be a teacher who was teaching the entire class and then a teacher who was giving those students who needed extra attention that on the side, and they were on the same path. They knew what they were teaching for the day. They knew what was important. They knew what each individual needed. And having somebody who's been with Daboll multiple stops allows them to be able to say, okay, yeah, I know what you need. I can spend extra time with Cam Ward while Daboll, you focus on the entire offense because I know exactly what you want. We're coming in with a scheme and a system that we've ran before with multiple quarterbacks in multiple places, multiple style quarterbacks at that. So that fires me up, man. Is there anybody who was either retained or hired that you're fired up about, Codes?
Well, I didn't get to talk about Brian Daboll because I had no electricity. But I'm fired up for Brian Daboll. I was big on I wanted Mike McDaniels in here. I think that would have been like the most electric hire you could probably get. But Brian Daboll's not far off. I mean, you watch what he was able to do with Josh Allen. He took Josh Allen and realized what he did in college is not what he needs to be doing in the NFL. Completely shifted how he does the offense. And now Josh Allen has complete confidence in himself. He's throwing for like 30 touchdowns a year, and he's free flowing. Who does that remind you of? Who runs like a free flowing offense? What kind of quarterback is that? Kind of sounds like Cam Ward to me. So, I think, and I hope to God we have him for a couple years. But you know what? If he's not here for a couple years, it's also a good thing because that means Cam Ward's putting up good numbers. We're scoring a lot of points, and we're winning some football games.
Yeah, man. And you talked about the philosophy and that side of the house. Again, I know I keep mentioning this, man, but I'm a vibes guy, man. I just love being able to be in a space where, like, it's just like, the person next to you's got your back. And sure, Brian Daboll's short and fat and round. But by how he acts, if there's a fight, he might be the first one on the field with Big Jeff. You know what I mean? Like, he's a feisty dude, man. And that's something that I really, really appreciate about it. Now, I'm about to say something, all right? The offensive line coach, Carmen Brasillo, is
much about him.
Respected around the league. And I know that those words, especially about an offensive line coach, is scarring for a lot of us. But seeing what he did with both the Raiders and the Giants offensive line, I don't know if people know this, in 2025, the Giants line finished ninth overall in PFF offensive line grades and fourth in pass blocking efficiency, which was a dramatic jump when they were in the bottom third of the league the year before. Like, Carmen Brasillo, he's not just been the guy, and I'm not saying this was Bill Callahan, but he's not just the guy who inherits a really good offensive line and then gets a few rookies and elevates. Like, he's the guy who inherits some guys who are like, okay, and takes a group of them and reduces their 2024 total of sacks, to close to 85 down to 30. You know what I mean? Like, he is somebody who knows how to put it together and is somebody who really, really just brings a group of people. He did the same thing with the Raiders. The Raiders, when he left, were ranked 10th offensive line-wise. What do they look like since then? They're a bottom 5 offensive line. So he's a guy who has been consistent. He's also been known for getting the best out of what was considered mediocre talent. And when he leaves, his guys get paid. So it's one of those things where,
like playing with LeBron.
We're not.
Timothy Mozgov. We got. I can go through the list of players LeBron's gotten paid.
Let's go through the list of Hall of Famers he's played with versus how many rings he had. We'll talk about that later. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this right now. Not live in front of company. Okay, not live in front of company. But I love that hire as well. It's good for me mentally to know that we're going from an experienced offensive line coach, probably the most experienced, as old as Bill was, to somebody who's as respected, but he's still kind of rising in the ranks. Like, he's somebody who is continuing to be a riser, but a lot of people want to play for him, and that's something I appreciate, man. So Carmen Brasillo is somebody I'm excited that Robert Saleh added, and it just feels so much like, outside of Bill Callahan, the opposite of what we did last year when it comes to, let's get experience in the building, man. Let's get experience. Like, Cody,
let's get some relationship builders.
Yes,
dude.
Yes,
like that's like the one word I keep on coming back to. It's like there's gonna be just relationship building the entire time, camaraderie, and like not just like this nice guy stuff. Like, it's going to be, I'm going to be hard on you, but you're going to be better for it. Not this 4-H crap that we were doing the past 2 seasons. Get rid of all that stuff. Throw it in the garbage. We're going to get in your face. We're going to scream at you. But at the end of the day, you're going to know that I love you. And I'm just trying to make you better. And if you're better, the Titans are better. And the Titans are better. The fans are happy. And the fans are happy. We sell PSLs.
And it's just that simple. In a new stadium with likely new jerseys, which everybody's talking about.
I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like the new logo.
Oh,
like this. You take away this. I don't like it.
You don't like the flame being missing?
I just think it looks boring. It needs more character. This needs more character.
I get what you're saying. And I think what we're trying to establish is the Steelers logo is boring, you know, the Cowboys logo is just a star. I think we're trying to like establish a brand. Hopefully what the Flames do mean going away is that the Ring of Fire celebration is going away as
Dude.
well.
Yes, that could be completely worth it. Robert Saleh, if there's one thing you could do, get rid of Ring of Fire and get rid of that band.
Oh, the Blue Crew. Oh, my goodness. Look here. I've been a PSL holder for
Let 'em
3
know.
years now, and it's going to continue. Every time they step on the field, I'm booing them. I was the one person who was booing the band louder than people were booing Brian Callahan. Like, I I can't stand it, man. There's so many reasons behind it that I don't even have time to get into it. I can't stand it, man. I can't stand it. There's somebody who I just don't get it. I don't get it. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's tragic.
I just again I know we've spoken a lot about kind of the change in mentality. I want to talk a little bit about the change of experience. We can stick with the offensive side of the ball right now as the defensive side continues to get ironed out. I know he's made some good hires on that side of the house. Aaron White Cotton being, defensive line run game coordinator coming over from the Cowboys most recently. He's somebody who we've brought over, but I want to kind of see who the defensive, who the true DC is before we have a deep dive about it, and we'll go live when that happens too. But I want to talk about the experience factor, Cody. Going from just imagine you're Cam Ward, going from Brian Callahan and Nick Holtz to Robert Saleh and Brian Daboll. How do you think that affects the offensive side of the ball from just like an experience standpoint?
Well, you're just dealing with more people who have seen more things. They got more answers to the test probably than Brian Callahan would. And that's the thing. It's like Robert Saleh too has one of the toughest defenses like in the NFL. So dealing with that, like he's gonna be going against some of the best defense that he's ever seen. And Brian Daboll is just somebody that is known to have the answers. And I appreciated like his because it seems like 15 to 16 teams in the NFL all run this Shanahan McVay. They're all trying to run the same thing. And it seems like Brian Daboll is somebody who's like, no, we're going to try to do something different. We will change. We will change the answers, the questions to the test every week. This defense, they're going to see a different style of play every week.
Yep.
And that's just what you're going to get. I mean, if Cam Ward can free flow and do what he does, and Brian Daboll can just feed into that, then we have a potential superstar on our hands.
I mean, you're exactly right, man. And to think about Brian Daboll, some of the key experiences, being able to have a quarterback like Josh Allen, not from a talent perspective, but from his initial deficiencies, having those be very similar to Cam Ward's, where a lot of them are mechanic based. Like he doesn't have an arm talent issue. I think Cam proved that. He had a mechanics issue. Sometimes he missed throws because his mechanics weren't there. Sometimes he made incredible throws because he ignored mechanics. But I think by Brian having somebody who has, and I need to say Daboll, because I'm saying Brian.
So many Brians.
It just there's too many Brians, and the Brian that we most recently had was terrible. Like I think that having somebody like Daboll who had a coach who not only had mechanic issues but had extreme arm talent behind that is so important because he already knows, hey, I know I can't coach it out of him, but how can I make sure that we're refining it to the point where he can execute the simple as much as we ask him to? And you brought up a great point of team-specific game planning on both sides of the ball. That fires me up, man, because I think that's just how you should operate in general. Like I know that like a lot of teams they have a general game plan they're going to try to execute every game and they'll tweak it based on other teams' personnel. But knowing that it could be a different look every time you step out on the field, other teams don't know what to expect. That's what made Saleh's defense is so, prominent is the fact that they don't know what to expect. He could come in and he's one of the heaviest blitzing teams in the league. And then you go to the 49ers where they didn't blitz a ton. They tried to get there with 4. And like just having that balance, man, with a team like ours who is going to have to be game plan specific. If we're not playing against some elite wide receivers, maybe we can send the blitz a little bit more. If we're playing against elite wide receivers, okay, let's try to get there with 4 and run some more stunts and things of that nature to try to create pressure. Like, I love that. And the same for Daboll on the offensive side of the ball, man. You made up a great point.
Yeah. I think it goes back to dictate, don't be dictated.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Yeah.
we're going to play the game on our terms. And I think he's going to be even great for like the wide receivers. Like when they're going over to play, they're not just seeing a line and be like, oh, I'm running 10 yards and then I'm cutting up. Why am I doing that? What is the purpose? Why am I going to cut that short? I think Brian Daboll is just going to have. I think he's going to have all these little nuances of the game that really help the wide receivers, help Cam Ward, who, by the way, he was the coach of the team that wanted to give us, I don't know, like 3 picks in multiple seconds. He wanted Cam Ward. This is the kid that he wanted to coach.
Mm-hmm.
So he's here. I mean, he's here. He's trying to mold a piece that he's been wanting to coach for, I don't know, what now 2 years, it seems like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's going to, dude, it's really, really exciting.
Man, another piece you mentioned that I wanted to talk about was wide receiver coach Greg Lewis that came in. So Greg Lewis, I won't go all the way back through, but we'll start in 2016. So he was a wide receiver coach with the Philadelphia Eagles, wide receiver coach with Kansas City in 2017 through 2020, 2021 through 2022, was a running backs coach, was a wide receiver coach 23 through 25 with Baltimore Ravens, and now he's here. He's somebody who his accountability is a big thing. You know, he's really helped contribute to Super Bowl winning offenses, you know, when it comes to Kansas City for those years, 17 through 22, essentially. And then with Baltimore, he when he came in, he said, if you don't want to block, you won't be a part of what we're doing. That's what he said when he joined the Ravens.
He will love Corey Davis, golly.
Yes. And he's renowned for teaching route running, mental toughness, and blocking. That's what he does. Like, he's not the guy who's kind of like, oh, frill, get out there, do this, chop your feet. Like, he's like, no, we're going to be tough. We're going to execute on our routes, and we're going to block. And those things where, you know, we have not had that for a little while. No, Vrabel loved wide receivers that could block.
Yeah.
That was his thing.
Can you keep your hands inside them pads?
That's it. Coach, I had 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns last year as a receiver. I do not care.
I don't
Have
care.
you ever pancaked the cornerback? You know, those were his questions in the interview. So having a little bit of that combined with a guy who coached Tyreek Hill in the prime of his career. Now, we don't have a Tyreek Hill talent. You may say that we do in Chimere DK, whatever. But we've got guys who need to learn how to improve in those things too. You know, like I don't think toughness is an issue. I actually think even though they're light skinned, Chim and Ellick are pretty tough receivers. Yes, I did just stereotype a whole group of people, but
It's okay.
I think that having somebody who comes in with that is important, man. Greg Lewis being hired as wide receiver coach. Cody, what are your thoughts on just what he's known for around the league and what he can bring to the Titans?
Hey, listen, if you want good receivers, typically there's a lot of good ones in Kansas City, and they're not all drafted real high either. So this guy knows how to develop.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the most exciting part about him. I don't remember Tyreek Hill. I don't think he was a first-round pick, second-round pick. He may have been like in the third or the fourth. But, you know, the wide receivers for the Kansas City Chiefs are not like high draft pick priority players. They all get developed. And that's also what we need, considering that, you know, 3 of our top targets on the team are like third and fourth round picks, fifth round picks even.
Yeah.
So I think if you think about Ellick, you think about a Chim.
That was when Tyreek was drafted, 5th round.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just it's another awesome hire. This staff is just so much better than what it was last year. You don't really like realize it until you start seeing the hires come in, and you're just like, damn, dude, like what were we dealing with last year?
Yeah, and the thing I like about it the most is like everybody's well-rounded. You know, they have connections to each other, but like it's not like they've all been everywhere together. You know what I mean? Like there's different pieces coming into play. Like for instance, you know, with Lewis, you know, he's crossed over with multiple people. You know, he spent some time with the Ravens. He spent some time with Kansas City. Like he was with Borgonzi for multiple years while he was in Kansas City. So it's cool to see, you know, the different walks of life coming together. You know, and being able to see that even with a guy, you know, like Carmen Casilla, who we spoke about, who was there while he was there, Dave Ziegler, you know, who was on our hiring staff. So one of the things that I liked talking about just the unit as a whole was it was very apparent that Robert Saleh came in with a plan of the type of people he wanted to hire. And what I like about it the most is that he executed on that plan. You know, like it's different to come in with a plan. What they say, everybody has a plan until you get hit in the mouth. and the punch in the mouth could have been the Bills job opening or the Raiders, and maybe he pivoted off Dayball and was like, yeah, I know. Like, he came in with a plan. Dayball was one of, if not his top candidate coming in. Some of the pieces around Dayball as well. Like, he came in with a plan and he executed that. And I think that gives people in the building confidence as well in the leadership structure, with Borgonzi being the only one talking today. It wasn't, three or four people. It was Borgonzi talking about why they made the hire, why they believe in Robert Saleh, and speaking with such confidence, man. I think the fan base now is getting more apt to trusting the decisions that leadership makes. That's a big piece of this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these coaches, I mean, I think they all exude the same type of vision. It's all about toughness, it's all about grit, and it's all about getting more out of yourself than than what you thought you had. And that's, I mean, it's just great to see, dude. I mean, I think it's I think it's an awesome staff that he's put together. I'm loving the messaging. I'm loving that, because Brian Callahan, it seemed like he was more like the softy kind of nurturing type, and then you would get the Nard Wilson saying, "Nah, this ain't good enough." You know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
like the messaging is just a little different.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I think with like all these hires, I think the messaging is going to be the same. And when Cam Ward says the standard isn't good enough, we need to set a higher standard. That's going to be the messaging throughout the room. And if we like suck and someone says that we're ass, then they're going to be like, you know what? He's not wrong.
Mhm.
He probably should have said out in the public or whatever, but he's not wrong.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I think, again, I could go back to the whole him messing with Jeffrey Simmons. If Jeffrey Simmons socks somebody in the face at practice, he'll throw him out of practice. But like when he gets behind closed doors, he's like, hey, he probably deserved it, but you can't do it out in front of everybody else. It's going to cost us 15
Right.
yards. Okay.
Yeah.
So you
man.
gotta put the team first. And that's just, man, I'm so fired up for this, man. I really am. I just love this type of coaching.
And one thing I want to make sure I take the time to point out is Randy Jordan being kept on as running backs coach. He's got 20 years of experience. He just gets it done. I think that he's worthy of bringing it back. I don't care what anybody says. Getting Tony Pollard to 1,000 yards multiple years in a row, I gotta respect
It
it.
means something. It means something.
It means something.
Get him out of here, though.
Whew, almost had a sneeze come in. Okay, and then on the other side of it, please don't get him out of here. Luke Stocker, man. Why do I like the Luke Stocker hire so much? Is one, you know, all the tight ends attributed a lot of their improvements to Luke Stocker. I like that he was a former player. I like all those things. But one thing that I really appreciate is it does show that Borgonzi is looking at people inside of the building who was young, up and coming, talented people, and not just saying, okay, new coach, let's get him out of here. Like, I'm sure Luke Stocker and Randy Jordan were two of the candidates that he suggested strongly to Robert
Bones.
Saleh. Hey, they did a good job for us last year, and they fit in Bones for sure. Bones is probably like the initial conversation. Hey, thank you for coming to interview for the Titans. Bones is your special team coordinator. Tell us what else you know.
Yeah.
But Luke Stocker, man, I just love that from like a business perspective. Like, you know how I think sometimes, Cody, like being a younger coach now that gets hired in whatever position you are, like, if you do a good job, regardless of what happens, like if you impress leadership, you'll still be here. And if you do the right things for the players and you're attentive and you bring the energy, you'll be here. And I think Luke Stocker fits more of a Robert Saleh mold. And I also like that Luke Stocker is not the only mammoth of a guy that we have now on the sidelines. Robert Saleh kind of
Yeah.
fits that mold too. I know he was just playing 3-4 years ago, but I'm excited about it. I am.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it kind of goes to the fact that shows that, we were bad, but not everything was terrible. You know what I mean? We had elements of the coaching staff that were worth keeping. And these guys, these younger guys that have been in the league for a little while and been coaching for a while, it's just like Robert Saleh said. He was kind of like, you can't keep doing like the ancient stuff. You kind of have to get like newer ideologies in here and everything. It seems like keeping Luke Stocker is kind of a part of that.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that, like, I know that Luke Stocker wasn't working directly with Cam Ward all the time, but like, I do like there's some familiarity that's happening throughout the building. Running backs and tight ends, those are two cornerstone positions of a team. They need to do and execute their job very well. They all play major roles in multiple things, whether it's pass blocking, executing the offense, whatever that is, run blocking in some cases. Like, I'm excited for that. That we'll be able to do that and have people on board who, just bring that familiarity to the group, man. But man, any other thoughts, man, that you want to give to the people before we wrap it up, man?
Man, I don't know. I just love the direction I feel like this franchise is going in. And it may not, and Titans fans out there, it may not result in 10 wins next year.
Mm-hmm.
But the identity and the culture is being set for a foundation that is going to be strong and it's going to be winning in probably 2 years, maybe. We get all this cap space. Let's see who we draft at number 4, David Bailey, please God. But the foundation is going to be set. This guy is going to lay the foundation. He's going to set the standard. And his top 2 players on the team are going to be probably the biggest voices of getting that standard to everybody else.
Yes.
And making sure everybody follows it.
Yes, a message that will permeate in the locker room and be carried by the leaders all the way up to leadership. That's something that can be appreciated. That's how you create a team. That's how you set the culture, as you just said. The foundation is being set. Today was step 1 of that, to the public at least. And now we get to continue that trend. I'm excited to see how the defensive side of the ball pans out too, who he brings in to work underneath him and to work with him as they build out the defense. But overall, man,
well done. I love the fact that he was uncomfortable in a suit and tie. I mean, I really do, man. You could tell he wants to be in there. He wants to be in the locker room with the guys, building the relationships with his new players. He doesn't want to be in front of a microphone wearing a suit and tie. I mean, that's a big thing to me. That's just something I really noticed. That's important to me.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it. I think it just brings the right mentality. We'll see what happens in the future, man, but I think that we've just got the right pieces to continue to build. I'm sure we'll make tweaks throughout the year. But now, like you said, after we fill out this defensive side of the ball, from a coaching perspective, player acquisition is right around the corner. And having this style of coaching group that's so experienced, I think especially on the offensive side of the ball, and both sides of the ball, really, every hire is going to be intentional. I think we've got enough to where, like, key positions we don't have to worry too much about, like that we were just dead set on last year. Like, I don't think we'll touch O-line, maybe bring in some reserve pieces. I think from a linebacker core, we'll stick pretty much with what we've got in some of those young pieces. Safeties is something we don't have to think about because now we know what we have in Kevin Winston Jr. The perimeter of the field is where we're going to really have to attack. So it's going to be, I'm going to be curious to see who they bring in. We're going to bring in more physicals guys on either side of the ball, possession catch receivers, press man corners. Hey, shout out press man.
Press man
Or
coverage.
are we going to be bringing in some guys who are speedsters, known for playing in trail coverage, guys who are after the catch yak guys. Like, I'm excited to see what we build, but we've got the right foundation in place, man. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with us today. We appreciate you guys. We're happy to start this journey with a new coach with you. I feel like this is really the start to the season for me. Like, I feel like we've officially turned the tide. The offseason has began officially to me. I know we went through, the coaching cycle, hiring cycle. We're still going through it, but I'm fired up, man. Thank you guys for joining us, dude. We're out of here. PMC.
Peace. In the words of Randy, press man.